What's going on, nation? Sly here, and thanks for checking out another Mass Effect Andromeda video. So if you've been keeping up with my latest news videos, then you know I usually do them on Wednesdays or Thursdays. Unfortunately, it always seems like the day I make one, something comes out that following day, and it's usually pretty big news. Also, by the time I get around to it the following week, it's old by that time and no one really cares anymore. So I've pretty much decided to wait as long as possible this week to see what would unfold, and it's a good thing that I did. So I apologize for the delay, and I know y'all are super hungry for news updates, so with that, let's jump right into it. First off, as always guys, we are at 32 days and counting, just about a month away from release, and less than a month if you're counting early access. It's happening, guys. It's actually happening. So, to start us out here, there were quite a few screenshots dropped this week, although they weren't from BioWare officially. If you look hard enough, you'll actually find them on Amazon, and they were just uploaded a few days ago. Now, you can see some environmental backdrops at first, but as we go along here, there are a few others, and I don't know about you all, but if this is taken from actual gameplay, then we are in for an absolute treat. I mean, the detail on some of these pictures are absolutely stunning. And of course, the link is in the description box below if you want to check them out and download them for yourself. There are a couple of good shots of Alec Ryder in there as well, but my favorite ones are these right here. Now, this one seems to be of Dr. Lexi, although it is unconfirmed, but to me, she just looks like a Dr. Lexi, right? I mean, it's just screaming it out of the picture. And my second favorite is this one right here of Calo Jath, but not so much for that he's in there, but instead look at the lady in the very back of the picture. Now this is definitely on the Tempest, and about a month ago we were given a screenshot of a Krogan sitting in one of these chairs, and the dev tweeted down below it, "I don't know why Drac is sitting in the science officer's chair." So if we take that as good information and not just, some kind of sneaky misdirection, then this is our first glimpse of the Tempest science officer. Now from my knowledge, there hasn't been a name attributed to this position yet, so that's a pretty neat look right there. And like I said, you can snip these out for yourself from the link down below, or you can look on the BSN forums and download them from there as well. Okay, so next we've had two big pieces of news drop yesterday. Yesterday as in Thursday afternoon. The first of which is that our thirst for knowledge will finally be sated with another trailer. And luckily it uploads today, which is Friday. Friday's the 17th. And I would think that it would be safe to assume they would release around the same time as the trailers before them, which is usually early afternoon on the East Coast, somewhere between 12 and 1 p.m. As you can see here, we are finally getting an in-depth look into weapons and skills. Some of the biggest remaining questions are due to be addressed within this video, and I cannot wait to see what this is all about. Also notice how it says Mass Effect Combat Series. So I'm willing to bet that the 15-minute long gameplay trailer we were due to see in mid-February is instead broken up into separate parts within this series. Now I would also expect to see a few more videos drop within the next week or two if that's the case. We don't have that much time left, so it better drop soon. Also, I will be taking an in-depth look into this trailer when it debuts. I'll be looking over weapons, the UI, skills, armor, you name it. I'll be trying to break it down and see if we can get a better understanding of what's ahead. So I invite you to keep an eye out for my weapons and skills breakdown video, which I hope to have ready by the middle to late afternoon today, of course, which is Friday. So I hope to see you all there. Next up, the final major piece of news is about my leading favorite squad mate right now, and that is Drac. Dracks Profile has finally been released, and it dropped about the same time as the aforementioned video. Now, as you can see here, he's got over 1,400 years of experience and a Ruzad shotgun to boot. Meet Drac. Now, we'll talk about that shotgun here in a second, but first, let's take a look at the profile. It says up top, there's old, and then there's Drac. The elder Krogan spent more than 1,400 years causing a ruckus in the Milky Way, wearing the title of soldier, mercenary, and at times, pirate. When the loyal but stubborn veteran was given a chance to join his clan on a voyage to Andromeda, he had no choice but to sign up. Doing so would present him with a whole new galaxy of stuff to shoot. So this makes it clear that the entire Knockmore clan was invited to travel to Andromeda. Now, there are only 4 arcs, guys: humans, Turians, Asari, and Solarians. And that left me wondering how the Krogan ended up in Andromeda. But it's clear now that the only Krogans you'll see in Andromeda should be from Clan Knockmore. If you'll remember the security officer aboard the Nexus, her name is Knockmore Kesh. Anyways, a couple of cool things to take away from this. First is his weight, 340 kilograms with prosthetics. So apparently our old Krogan is missing a few pieces. And second is his favorite weapon, the Ruzad shotgun. Now it's kind of neat because in my Twitter section of this movie I was going to show you guys this, but it fits better right here. The question was whether or not we'll see the 1S1K shotgun in Andromeda, and I was wondering that about the Claymore as well. But you can see that Ian Fraser told us there will be a spiritual successor to the Claymore, and obviously that's the Ruzad shotgun. This tweet was 3 days older than the profile, so it was news at the time, but not anymore. Anyways, here's as close as I could go without making it blurry. As you can see from this picture right here, it looks pretty badass, guys. It almost has like an LMG handle on top of it, but it's connected to both sides. Now I wonder if that's maybe the reload mechanism, like a new kind of pump action, or maybe it's simply a handle. Now the reason why I think it's a reload mechanism because if you look closely at the end, you can see that the Ruzad has 2 barrels at the end of it. So if that handle connects to both sides of the weapon, it makes sense that it chambers around on each side. On top of that, you can almost make out some kind of bayonet attached at the end. A pretty killer CQB weapon. Okay, and our final decent piece of news before we get into the random stuff that doesn't really fit anywhere else. Just as that Shinobi dude predicted, BioWare indeed held a press event this week, and you can see the number of PCs they set up here. IGN tweeted their arrival as well, and if all goes well, we should hear from the press the middle of next week. Now there's no word on if they received a full preview copy so they can put the entire game through its paces, but at least we know the game is ready to go. And by a tweet like this, it sounds like it's going to be just as awesome as we all hoped it would be. I mean, that's a huge deal, guys. Working on something for 4 years and then actually being able to sit down and enjoy playing it from start to finish, I mean, that is a feat in and itself, my friends. Most devs take a week-long vacation after they launch so they can forget about the past 4 years. So it's pretty cool to see, and I'm definitely looking forward to see what the press has to say about the game. I'm kind of nervous as well, to be honest with you. Alright, so moving along, this is the random information bit of the video. It's good stuff to know, but there's really no way to kind of, smooth it in. So let's see what the world of Twitter had for us throughout last week. First up, Loot Crate. There will be a limited edition Mass Effect Andromeda Loot Crate. It's $50 plus shipping and $75 for international orders, which seems like a little bit of a rip to me. But usually it's worth it. Hats, shirts, if you're lucky, a hoodie, patches, pins, mini statues, figurines, stickers. I mean, you never know what's in those boxes, and it is always a good time. No word yet on when it's due to go on sale, but if you head over to the website and join with them, you'll be notified as soon as it's good to go. Next, for those who are wanting to read the Mass Effect Andromeda novels, you're going to have to wait an extra week. The first novel, titled Nexus Uprising, was due to release the same day as the game. However, since you can read a book faster than you can play Mass Effect, they pushed it back a full week to the 28th of March. Now for those of you out there who don't know, BioWare has teamed up with the European Space Agency and has sent content creators to a space training facility. This has been going on for a while now, but I haven't mentioned it before, so I thought it'd be cool to let you guys know. So if any of you guys know these content creators, be sure to check them out. As always, the link is in the description box below. So moving along here, there has been some clarification about the difficulty levels within Mass Effect Andromeda. First, for the fans out there of Dragon Age Inquisition, you might remember the trials, and one of the devs was asked if something similar would be available within the game. And while it's not exactly like the trials, there is, quote, something to scratch the same itch. On top of that, we also know all of the difficulty levels will be unlocked on your very first playthrough. So there is no need to do a Game Plus playthrough in order to unlock Insanity. You can choose that right out of the gate. Also, each difficulty level has been confirmed. There is Narrative, Casual, Normal, Hardcore, and then of course Insanity. And for those wondering and praying that it's not like the Division's answer for hard, which is just jacking up the HP, you can breathe a sigh of relief, guys. Both behavior and stats will be adjusted based on your difficulty selection. Also something awesome to hear. Sponges are very, very annoying. Alright, so next up, let's hit on some romance. For those out there wondering if each relationship has to end with some alien banging, it's been confirmed that some relationships do not culminate in sex, so you can keep the relationships on good terms without the complication of the bang. Alien banging is in my blood, so it must be done. Alright, anyways, next up, There was some confusion concerning pre-order packs and the items within the deluxe editions. First, as you can see right here, the Deep Space Explorer armor, the Nomad skin, and the multiplayer booster packs are all pre-order bonuses that will come with the game regardless of which version you buy. Even the cheapest base version will have access to those pre-order items. Of course, that is if you pre-order it. And then, of course, the other stuff depends on which version you acquire, but the only difference between Deluxe and Super Deluxe is the Super Deluxe booster packs, which gives you one extra box per week for 20 weeks. However, pre-order booster packs are XP boosts only. But if you get the Deluxe or Super Deluxe editions, you will get Premium packs instead of those wimpy XP boosts. And Premium packs are apparently the best kind to have. They contain weapons, kits, boosts, armor, etc. In my eyes, the best way to go here is the straight up Deluxe edition. You get the upgrade to better multiplayer packs, all of the pre-order items, and everything on that list except the extra crate per week for 20 weeks, which in my eyes is no big deal. And that's all for an extra $10. Now, if you're hoping that they haven't made the game pay to win, then my friend, you are not alone. Microtransactions are always a touchy way to do business. But according to Ian Fraser, you can totally play and be successful without spending a dime. And the packs work almost in the same way as they did in Mass Effect 3. So that's also something great to hear. And while we're on multiplayer, it's been confirmed that once you reach max level, you can indeed start again from level 1 if that's something you want to do. Also, they have not added anything extra in terms of player communication. You can still talk to each other, with microphones, but things like emotes, waypoints, chat, they will not be there at launch. However, it does seem like they might be open to it further down the road. And finally, we're down to our last 3 tidbits, guys. First up, do you remember when Calo Jath talked about the Nomad being 4 or 6-wheel drive, in that Tempest Nomad briefing? Well, I thought it was just a gimmick, making it seem tough, and it would always just be 6-wheel drive. But apparently, you can actually change the Nomad from 4-wheel drive to 6-wheel drive and then back again. Now, maybe I'm the only one who actually thought they said that just to make it sound tough, but from what I gather, 4-wheel drive is to be used on flat terrain for speed, and 6-wheel drive is used for steep inclines, and of course, old-school Mako activities. So that's also something pretty cool. Next, PB's eyebrows. Now, you might have noticed that she's the only Asari to have real hair, and at first, the answer to that was that it was due to a recessive human gene showing up. But of course, that's not how Asari DNA works, and it was later corrected to say that she had an unusual recessive gene from a distant ancestor. And the final thing I have here this week is talking about cover. Some were wondering if the cover in Andromeda was magnetic style, like if you walk towards it, you'd simply just get drawn into it, which, by the way, I absolutely hate, especially when you're running by cover and you don't want to go into it, but it drags you in anyway. Once again, Ian Fraser has said that cover this time around is very fluid and smooth. All you need to do is approach and you'll pop right in, which is usually not the way I like third-person cover. But he said that you don't get stuck into it and assures us that it is a very intuitive system. I did want to ask if there's a way to turn it off so you can have manual cover, but no word on that yet. Well, alright guys, we are done. We made it through, and hopefully there were some things in there you haven't heard about or seen yet. And if so, that is fan-freaking-tastic. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. It's always an honor to be able to make videos set in my favorite gaming universe, and for such awesome and passionate fans that love it just as much as I do. There are a ton of other content creators out there to watch on YouTube, and I thank you guys for watching my channel. Don't forget that I'll be doing a breakdown video of the weapons and skills video later on today, so keep an eye out for that. It'll drop probably sometime late afternoon Friday. Feel free to stay up to date on everything Mass Effect Andromeda, Destiny, or The Division by following me on Twitter at SlyNation, or even on Facebook at SlyNation Gaming. It's the best place to see all of the recent news, as well as my uploads into YouTube. I couldn't do this without you guys, and be sure to keep an eye out for more videos coming out of SlyNation here very soon. But, until then, this is your boy Sly, and I will see you all next time.